Thank the Lord.
The tournament is over for me now and just finished up the knockout round. I want to give you a little information about how I prepared for Lake Chickamauga and how I fished it, how I practiced for it, and kind of how the tournament went. Chickamauga is a Tennessee River lake, so it's a river lake and it's current driven, so if you got current in it, it's going to make it better. We didn't have a lot of current this week until the latter part of the week. Started getting a little more current, so the fish started biting a little better. There's two major patterns on Chickamauga, and you kind of have to pick what you like to fish. You know, if you like shallow fishing, you need to stay up in the Dayton area and north upriver, back in the backwater sloughs. You can still do that. A few guys have pretty good tournaments fishing up here real shallow. The other pattern is the offshore. This is one of the best offshore crankbait lakes and offshore ledge fishing lakes, you know, there is on the Tennessee River chain. It's just really heavily pressured, so the fish were really hard to make bite. I saw a lot of fish on my active target that couldn't get them to bite. So my strategy coming into here was I looked for deep water schools. I didn't find many. And most of the ones I did find were all the same community ones that a lot of other guys found. And the key depth on those little tips on your C-map, on your Lowrance C-map, the points that run out on the bars on the main river, that's kind of what you need to look for. Anywhere from 12 to even 25 feet, you know, but I think the 17 to 22 feet is a kind of key depth here right now, and that's the one few I caught were that depth. The shallow pattern was how I made the knockout round. In our format, it's numbers game. If it was a 5-fish limit game, I wouldn't fool with a shallow bite at all. I would stay deep and I'd try to just get 5 big bites because that's where the bigger fish are, is out deep. But in our format, with numbers counting so much, I knew I had to catch, you know, 30. I figured I was going to have to catch 30, 35 pounds in 2 days to be able to make the knockout round. That's exactly what it was. So I caught 36 pounds and I caught them on the Livingston jerk bait and a bladed jig.
One away. Big head. That last little flurry right there saved me. Had a rough morning, but then you pull in the right spot. That's how Lake Chickamauga is, man. They'll bunch up. These grass fish are going to turn on and start biting. So I'm liking it. Thank the Lord for that. Every one of them was hooked on the edge of the mouth, but I got them all in, thankfully, too. This is the 121 jerk bait, and I was fishing grass, 6 to 8 foot deep main river bar grass down on the lower end of the lake in that Harrison Bay area. That was a good way to catch them on that, and on the bladed jig, jackhammer with a Zako trailer, Yamamoto Zako trailer. I caught a few on a shallower crankbait, the Shredder 53 Livingston, which is a 6 to 8 foot diver. And then boat docks with the lunker lure, rattling jig, skipping under docks. I caught a few like that yesterday. There was a lot of little fish in brush piles on docks, but I didn't catch any big fish doing that. But that was the pattern for shallow. Woo. Thank the Lord.
So that is how I got to the knockout round. Then today, after I was in the knockout round, I knew there was no need to fish shallow and try to catch 15 or 20 pounds, but I was really wanting to find a big school of fish, and I was around so many fish today offshore, and so many other guys around me were catching them, just timing, getting the right timing on those schools. You just bounce around a lot of times. And deep cranking, this is my deep crankbait. This is the Howler Livingston Deep Plus, and if you hadn't seen this bait, I'm telling you, it's the best. I'm not just telling you that. This is the best 25 to 30 foot diver on the market, and I don't think many people even know it's even exists. And I mean, I threw this a lot today, and it'll dredge. I was watching it on my active target, digging the bottom in 27, 28 feet on a long cast, throwing it on an 8 foot Ishman-Rowe punching rod because it's such a big heavy bait, and a big Tatula, the 200 Tatula with the big spool. You can really spool it and throw it a long way. So this is a good way to find them out there deep, and then you can slow down and throw your big Yamamoto cut tail to 775 cuttail worm on a shaky head or a football jig, spoon, hair jig. So the deep bite, that's what you need to look for if you're going for 5 fish or if you're wanting to learn more about your graph offshore on this lake. That's where you need to be, and you need to be about mid-lake down toward the dam. That's the best area where most of the fish are being caught right now. And again, if you want to fish shallow, throw frogs and shallow water and grass with the jerkbait up Lake Dayton, up north of there. There's a few guys caught them up there too. So that's the 2 ways you can fish Chickamauga. So if you come here anywhere from June now, early June, all the way through, I think, to September, the offshore pattern is going to be probably the deal. And as it gets tougher with more pressure, drop shot, Ned rig baits, a lot of small finesse stuff is going to be better out there, deeper than these big baits. They'll start to not be as good. So keep that in mind if you come Chickamauga. Hope you had some big ones. Have a good time here. It's a great lake, a great town here in Dayton, Tennessee. Thank you guys for following us. We got some valuable points here. Ready to move on to the north, start catching smallmouth. It's going to be fun. You're going to see a lot of Livingston jerkbait action up north. So y'all stay tuned. Thanks again for following us. Good luck. God bless. We'll see you on the water.